In this video, we show you how to assemble the Küpper tall cabinet 70-880. We recommend carrying out the assembly with 2 people. This makes handling the large components and fastening them easier. However, as shown in the video, it can also be done alone. First, open the carton. Once fully opened, the cardboard can then be used as a protective underlay during assembly. We begin with assembling the cabinet carcass from the first box. The drawer unit will be assembled in the second step. Remove all parts and lay them out in an organized manner. This ensures that everything is readily accessible during assembly. The tools you'll need include a flathead screwdriver, Phillips screwdrivers in sizes PH1 and PH2, open-end wrenches in sizes 7 and 10, or a ratchet with the appropriate sockets, a combination pliers, and a rubber or plastic mallet. We begin with the rear panel. It is assembled from 3 parts, which should be laid out side by side as shown, so that the connecting holes align with each other. Slightly bend open the connecting tabs using a flathead screwdriver. Then first connect one side to the central cross brace. Next, position the second side correctly and lock it in place in the same manner by sliding it into position. The parts are then fastened together at 4 points using screws. Use the M6x12 hex screws, nuts and washers. Please note that, as a general rule, the washers must always be placed on the nut side, and tightening should also be carried out on the nut side. This prevents the screw head from rotating and therefore scratching the paint underneath. Now turn the rear panel over so that the tabs of the central cross brace face upwards. Then attach the side panels. They are also secured by accurately inserting the tabs into the corresponding connecting holes. Now stand the pre-assembled cabinet carcass upright. At the 4 connection points shown in the instructions, insert M6x12 bolts and nuts and securely fasten the components together. Place the cabinet carcass back onto its rear side. The lower cross brace is positioned with its closed, smooth side facing upwards. Now securely attach the brackets for the adjustable feet to the cabinet carcass using M6x16 Allen screws and nuts. The Allen key shown is included in the assembly kit. The screw holes can then be covered with the black plastic caps. Screw the adjustable feet fully into the mounting brackets until they stop. This can be done easily using a Phillips screwdriver. Precise height adjustment and alignment can be carried out at a later stage. Now turn the cabinet so that the rear side is facing upwards. The rear brackets for the adjustable feet are secured using the M6x16 hex bolts and nuts shown in the instructions. Fully screw the feet into the brackets, and the cabinet is then ready to be set up. Next, the top cover panel is installed. The corresponding screws and nuts can be inserted either from below or from above, depending on preference. A needle nose pliers can be helpful here, if needed, to hold the nuts or screws in place. Before installing the first door, the upper door hook must first be fitted. We will begin with the door that does not have a cylinder lock housing. Insert the black plastic bushings into the upper and lower cutouts. On the hinge side of the door, use the short plastic bushings. On the opposite side, use the long plastic bushings. Then insert the upper door hook on the hinge side into the plastic sleeve and secure it with the M4x10 screw, nut and washer. Make sure the screw is facing inward and that the nut is screwed on from the inside. Place the door into the corresponding recess at the top and then position it at the bottom of the cabinet body. Now insert the lower door hook and screw it into the cabinet door as well. The second cabinet door is installed in the same manner. The doors can also be mounted with the lock side on either the left or the right, depending on the preference. Insert the lock cylinder into the corresponding recess and secure it from the back with the cap nut. The locking rods are guided through the plastic bushings in the doors at the top and bottom. They are then fitted together with the metal latch onto the locking cylinder. Place the retaining plate on top and secure it firmly to the lock cylinder with a snap ring and nut. Now open the second box. When cutting open the cardboard, be sure not to cut too deeply into the packaging. Otherwise, the cabinet parts could be scratched. First, insert the side panels with the pre-assembled runners. To do this, first slightly bend open the tabs intended for securing the side panels, and then insert the side panels into the cabinet. Please ensure that they are fully hooked in at the bottom and sit flush with the side panel of the tall cabinet. Also ensure correct placement for left and right sides. This can be identified by the rubber stop at the rear end of the runners. For the base, use the sheet metal screws with captive washers included in the assembly kit. The base panel is secured from the inside using 3 screws on the right and 3 screws on the left. Next, use 4 more screws from the back to secure the back panel to the bottom. To insert the pre-assembled drawers, pull the drawer slides out slightly on the left and right, then slide the drawers in as shown. To remove the drawers, press the latches shown downward on the right and upward on the left, then pull the drawer out. Now open the third carton and again sort the supplied parts and screws. As before, the cardboard box can serve as a work surface. Next, gently bend back the tabs on the side panels so you can insert the 2 side panels into the cabinet. Make sure that the screw holes are positioned as shown, with the holes having a larger edge distance at the top and a smaller edge distance at the bottom. Then insert the side panels. Take the base plate and attach the guide rails to it. Use the M4 nuts and bolts for this. They are screwed into the base plate at an angle. The greater distance between the first screw hole and the end of the plate must be at the front right. For easier handling, place the base plate on a workbench or a tool cart. The 3 perforated panels are screwed onto the guide rails. To do this, pull each rail out slightly so that you can position and tighten the screws and nuts. Also use M4 nuts and bolts at this point. Ensure the correct orientation of the perforated panel for top and bottom. The keyhole slots should not be upside down, and the open folded edge of the perforated panel must face inward. Next, install the slotted panels designed to hold storage bins. Again, make sure they are properly aligned. The slots must face upward, and the open edge must face inward. The tool cart allows for easy screwing from below using a standard screwdriver. If you need to work at floor level, you can also use a ratchet with the appropriate attachment. Now the necessary guide rails are also mounted on the top plate. The alignment is mirrored relative to the base plate, meaning the larger gap shown here is on the right, at the rear. Check the correct positioning again before placing the panel. Also, pull the guide rails out slightly so you can install the screws. Place the panel on the 5 walls and secure it with M4 screws and nuts. Now the entire unit can be placed inside the cabinet. It is secured to the side panels installed earlier using the base plate and the top plate. To do this, use the sheet metal screws with captive washers. For installation on the right side, you must loosen the front screws on the slotted panel again to access the screw holes. Now insert the storage bins and mounting brackets from the Küpper system. Finally, move the cabinet to its designated location and level it if necessary. If the door still catches, try moving it slightly to determine which side needs to be raised so that the door can move freely. Then turn the corresponding foot upwards a few turns until the door opens and closes without resistance. For safety reasons, you should then secure the cabinet to the wall using the mounting points shown. We wish you every success and lots of enjoyment with your Küpper tall cabinet 70-880.